Welcome back to the Go-To Food Podcast, brought to you by Deli. Deli's a food platform from the team behind Depop that sells the best independent food and drink products that other shops don't really know about. Head to www.deli.market and discover the thousands of creative products dropping daily, and use the code GOTODELI, that's with 2 L's, for 25% off everything from us. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to be joined by the genius mind behind London's latest hit restaurant, Calendar 71, Joe Laker. Having cut his teeth at the likes of the Black Swan, Roots, Pollen Street Social, Anglo and Fen, he's now making a real stir in London with his incredible creations. Talking creations, Joe, how did you create one of the capital's best places to eat by converting a tired, beaten up boozer? I mean, it didn't look like that attractive of a proposition when you probably walked past it initially, into a sort of epic cocktail bar come restaurant. I mean, it's, you know, kicking off. Everyone's fucking loving it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you got married yesterday. Congratulations.
You got married yesterday?
Yeah, so this is my honeymoon.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah.
Consummate the marriage for you. Right.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
But talk us through the concept of the whole place.
Yeah, so it's basically like a split level building, old pub. And one of my business partners, Ryan, he's a cocktail man. We met when we were at Fen, and that's sort of when this idea started. So he runs the cocktail bar downstairs, which actually used to be the cellar of the old pub.
Right.
And before we got hold of it, our landlord, I don't know how they did it. It was like a metre of concrete that they just like drilled down into and made it like a usable height roof sort of thing. So we run the cocktail bar out of there, and then my idea or dreams for a long time was to do the chef's table. Mm-hmm. So we found like a site. The layout of it was more the layout of the site that was like perfect. It's like the cocktail bar in the basement has its own separate entrance. The restaurant upstairs, which has like an entrance from the front, you know, it still has the old pub windows, so we still kind of have that like really nice old Art Deco type feel. You know, and then I never expected it to kick off like it has.
Well, you must have done. You worked at such incredible places.
Yeah, it's a silly CV, that.
Yeah, I mean,
it is actually it's quite rude on other chefs.
Yeah. I feel like you work in these places and you learn so much and you get exposed to so much, but they never teach you the confidence to think that you can do it yourself.
Right, yeah.
So not that they knock your confidence down in any way, but you know, your job is to come in every day and do the same prep list and do the same thing
like
every day.
Execute their
food, exactly. So it's not like there's like a training course of like building up the confidence for yourself to think that you can actually do it, you know. So, you know, what we've achieved in less than a year at the moment, you know, I didn't, that wasn't well, obviously it was the plan, but, you know, it wasn't like the expectations, I don't think.
What are some of your favourite dishes on the menu right now for those who may not know about it?
We've had a cuttlefish dish on the menu for a very long time, that's just been like refined and sort of added to as time goes on. It's like a technique that I learned at a 2-star seafood restaurant in Copenhagen that I was staging at for a little bit. And
another
they like
silly part of the CV. It's unbelievable.
But they like roll the cuttlefish up and then freeze it and slice it really thin on a mandolin, and then you cook it. It's like noodles, so it kind of has the texture of noodles, but it's just cuttlefish.
Wow!
So we've got that, and it's served with like a mushroom broth and some spring onions, and then like a spice mix, which is similar to like a Japanese togarashi. So it's got like loads of seaweed in it, and we spend a lot of time, especially this time of year when all the produce starts getting super exciting, we use this time to preserve as much as we can.
Yeah, nice.
So in there, it's got like chili powder from last summer, like gin. We have a very short, you know, the thing about the UK is that people have zero idea that we can grow almost everything, apart from things like rice, which you need like a very heavy monsoon season for, citrus, which you need like constant sunlight for. You know, we get a very short ginger season in this country. There's a farm in Hampshire that grow wasabi. You know, all these, and I feel like the restaurant was always started to kind of be a platform for that.
For British producers, British suppliers.
Everything at the moment, you know, we used truffles and caviar for a little bit that weren't from the UK. That's gone now. You know, we're curing our own like Jordnaer rove to use instead of caviar and things like that. So if this restaurant can educate, not in a patronising way, but like an informative way about British produce, that's good enough for me, you know, and everything else that's come around it.
No, I heard a guy on the radio in Somerset who does like chilies and all this Thai produce, which he grows down there. So you can basically get your hands on anything now.
You can get anything. There's a farm in Lewis near Brighton called Nami Asai.
Yeah, amazing.
And they grow like yuzu
in
September, you know, and it's like, that's they've been doing it for like 15 years. So it's not like, obviously global warming has sort of attributed to like the seasons changing and things coming a bit earlier or later, but they've been doing it or found a way to do it for so long, which is pretty.
Because you're also cooking for the bar downstairs, but obviously different food, and that sort of Southern American kind of food. What's the vibe there?
So Ryan's from Savannah in Georgia. So when we open, we have a little prep kitchen downstairs, so we kind of prep all the food and then it gets served from downstairs. We did like tater tots and fried chicken and all those, sorts of Southern-inspired dishes. Now we've sort of gone more down the fried chicken route, so we're doing like fried chicken burgers with like buffalo sauce. And,
nice.
So down there it's very different.
Yeah.
We're serving like a 12, 15 course taste menu upstairs. It's very refined. We've got tweezers out and there's little flowers and everything. It's like, it's very, very refined, and it's like the food that I enjoy cooking, like the intricacies of it. And then downstairs, we're using the same produce.
Yeah.
So the chickens, they come from the same suppliers that our like aged beef comes from. So it's super high quality stuff, just in like a more casual form.
Very cool.
Is it stressful cooking in an open kitchen, having all those eyes at you?
So I get asked this a lot, and I use one analogy. If you're on like a really long drive and you drive for like 4 hours and you get to your destination and you're like, I don't remember that drive at all.
Yeah.
You just like zone out, and it's something that you're so used to doing. I feel like because it's what we do every day.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not there like thinking about people staring at us.
No.
And we've actually been very lucky. We've had some like we've had some awful people, but like 99% of the people who have like come through the door, they're like super excited about it, like super personable, just want to chat and all those sorts of things.
What was it?
Sorry,
just about, because you said at the beginning you wanted that chef's table format. So what was it about it that like particularly you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, you have so much control over everything because you can see everything.
Yeah.
And the tasting menu format is great. We do one sitting, everyone sits at the same time. We know exactly who's coming in and what they're eating. You have such a long. I'm not saying anything ever goes wrong. We're like so precise, but if things go wrong, you can see it straight away and you can like act on it. And you just have so much more control because you can see everything, like front of house, back of house, everything. So,
but it's a strict 7:15 seating time.
Yes.
Surely some people take the piss, especially in London.
They do. And then at the start, we were trying to make friends.
Yeah.
So we'd like give people a grace period.
Right.
We don't make friends anymore.
No.
It's like if it's 7:15 and you're not there, we start.
You're cracking on.
And the latest we've had is like an hour and a half.
Fucking hell.
So we had
It's just in time for bidding.
Yeah. It literally was. So we started at 7:15 as normal, and these two. There was a run. It was after Christmas when like all the rich, wealthy people go to like Barbados and stuff for Christmas, and we had a run of like 2 weeks of people's flights getting delayed, coming back from Christmas. And they were booking restaurant reservations
for that day
on the day they get back.
Insane.
So their flight was meant to land at like 4 o'clock, and they were like, "Oh, I've got 3 hours. I can get there." It's it's bizarre. It's a bizarre concept to start with.
Yeah, that is odd.
And then something that's very common in the aviation industry is flight delays.
Flight delay, yeah.
So their flight was delayed. They ended up getting a taxi from Heathrow Airport all the way to the restaurant. They turned up with a huge suitcases. We were serving dessert to the rest of the counter.
Did they think they were going to get the full?
Well, they did get everything.
Oh, they did.
We lined it up in front. We lined it up in front of their seats.
Go.
And then go. So while we were serving desserts to the rest of the room, they were starting on snacks.
Who's the worst customer you've ever had? Even maybe in your restaurant, Anglo, or somewhere else. There must be one person who kind of jumps out.
Yeah, there's one. There's one woman.
Go on.
Well, no, there's a lot, but there's one that like jumps out.
Okay, she's not a serial offender.
No.
Right.
She's coming back.
She's not coming back.
No, yeah, right. She's
So she basically what if people arrive early, we sit them in the bar. And it's like a nice thing. They enjoy a cocktail, and then one of the chefs will come and pick them up and take you upstairs. And you judge people. You get a sense of how difficult people are going to be straight away.
Yeah.
Really.
So as soon as one of the chefs has brought everyone upstairs, you have a debrief with that chef, and he's like, they're going to be trouble. They're really nice, and you get like the lowdown. Yeah. It's like an educational process because you like learn about people. It's like, they're visiting from, I don't know, Milan, and one of our chefs speaks Italian, so I'm like, go speak Italian to them, make them feel, it is educational. These two people came up, they're like, they're going to be trouble, like serious trouble.
So where were they from? How did you characterize them in the moment?
Just super rude. They were just super rude. That wasn't educational. That was just like, these people are going to suck.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah. So I can swear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
family friendly. That's excellent. Yeah. So they arrived. They were super difficult, being difficult with wine, being difficult with everything. They ate the snacks, and then we served them the scallop course. And we like caramelize it really beautifully, and then just like flip it over. So it's still translucent in the middle. It's beautiful. They're so high quality.
Yeah.
You could eat it raw. It's absolutely fine. Gave it to her, and then she like ushers me over and just like pushes the bowl back. And I was like, "Is everything all right?" She was like, "My scallops raw." And I don't want to be patronising, but I was like, "Oh, we cook them through, just until they're like, slightly cooked, and we caramelise it on top." She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Would you like me to cook you another one?" She was like, "Yes, please." And then all our fish we cook the same.
Yeah.
It's translucent in the middle. It's cooked through. It's like
the way you should cook.
Exactly, super lovely. So I went over just to try and like, negate any future issues. I was like, just so you know, not in like a, I wasn't trying to be like arsey about it. I was like, just so you know, all of our fish is fairly translucent. Would you like me to cook it all the way through? And she was like, no, I like raw food. I just like my scallops cooked properly.
Oh my god! Did you slap her?
No, but then I just like put a scallop in the oven for about 10 minutes and gave it to her.
Roast the fuck out of it.
She,
Was she then happy?
No.
She's like, delicious.
But then,
it's still under.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? For the rest of this meal, I'm going to be so polite and so over the top.
Kill her with kindness.
Yeah, and then at the end, when she was leaving, I was like, thank you so much for coming. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you. And then she left like a 3-star review, and it painted her in such a good light, where she was like, I came wanting to love it. I just couldn't. Like, never in the whole 15 courses or whatever did anything go above average. So she springs to mind.
Do you not bite back, but do you respond to that sort of thing?
To that sort of stuff, I just like keep it. I put my email. I replied to the review on Google, put my email address, and said if you want to discuss, anything further, like we'll be happy to. But then they never do.
12 to 15 courses.
Yeah.
I love the fact you guys offer one by the glass.
Yeah.
You're not arsey like some places are. Have you ever thought about doing like a pairing tied into the whole? I know you do pairing, but like tied. I don't know if you've been to the Waterhouse project.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe.
I'm not saying
you should. I'm just wondering.
You just pay like you pay prepay, don't you? For
it's not
pay it up front.
menu.
Yeah.
You
don't need to when you're doing one with a glass, but I'm saying it's refreshing to see you offer that.
I remember you saying you like knowing what you're in for.
Yeah.
When you're talking to Gabriel,
Yeah.
No, but I like the fact you did one with a glass, because in an incredible place like yours, you normally get there and then like the cheapest bottle's like fucking 200 quid.
Yeah, no, it's very refreshing.
Yeah.
But you're there normally for the food.
Yeah. So we've never thought about doing that. I mean, I understand why places do that, because you get like an all-in inclusive thing, but like you don't really need like a sommelier or anybody who knows about wine, because you could just get you just get like 5 glasses whatever you want.
Yeah.
But no, we do some by the glass. We do maybe like 6 or 7 by the glass. Harry, the guy that does all the wine program, he's very good at finding like affordable wine that's very nice. So you're not. I went somewhere. I'm not gonna say where. It's very well known, and I feel like I'll get in a lot of trouble. The cheapest bottle was like £70, £80.
Really?
And it's like I'm going because I wanted to try the food, which was awful. It was awful. And then, I was, as you said, you go for the food, and then, you might, because the food's so expensive, get like a cheap bottle.
Yeah.
No such thing. It was like £70-80 was the cheapest. It's mad.
I think it's time to play Deli Steady Cook, because
I want to play Hangman and work out what restaurant.
we need to bring out your little deli bag, which we've created for you.
That's excellent.
And we're basically Ben's going to take you through what's in there, and then at the end we're going to ask you what you cook with it.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's good.
That's
bit of a game.
Yeah.
I've sort of leading the witness a bit.
Well, that's okay.
This is unbelievable. This is a pork and duck liver sausage from Poon's Wontoneria.
That's
genuinely delicious.
What is this, like an online supermarket?
Yeah, online deli place.
Online deli.
Yeah, online selling the best food and drinks on the market.
This is Kay's kimchi. I gave you one the other day. Didn't make it off the train.
So good.
I've never even had it.
Mate, if you want, you can get 25% off with the code GoToDeli. All right, double L.
Also from Poon, this is a chili vinegar dressing. It's very delicious. Sort of,
A lot of their products are just to like elevate dishes, which is quite nice. They're like
seasoning.
Yeah.
And this is a bibimbap.
I love bibimbap.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
So that's what you don't have to do anything with this now.
No, just have a think about it.
I feel like I'll just make.
You're going to make bibimbap.
Yeah.
Well, just have a think
with
about
a bit of chili vinegar dressing,
chicken and duck liver sausage.
Joe, your food celebrates the best of the British Isles, as we were talking about there. And obviously you got that incredible bar downstairs, but you also grew up in the US, right?
For a portion.
Any American food memories?
Yeah, which portion?
A young portion, so
Okay.
like 3 till 8.
But old enough to like for it to sort of go in a bit.
Sort of old enough to remember it. I feel like it was a very good PR stunt to say that I grew up in the US, as if it would kind of make it seem like I was more informed.
Sort of legitimised you a bit. Or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, like specific food memories, but I feel like because I did spend a portion of my upbringing there, I was interested in kind of exploring the food of the South, you know?
Yeah, nice.
So,
we're going to go into go-to menu, which is where it's sort of a quick fire. We ask you a couple of menu questions.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Dish you'll always order if on a menu?
Anything fish. I'm a big fan of fish. I think we cook with a lot of fish at the restaurant.
Where's the best fish you've had in London, apart from your own place?
I went to Endo at the Rotunda.
It's a baller move from you.
It's exceptional.
Yeah.
I like shamelessly begged him for a restaurant reservation.
Really?
He came to Counter 71 for the industry night. He was invited by our PR company.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he said, "You're welcome at my restaurant anytime." I said, "I can't get a restaurant reservation." And he went, "That's your problem, not mine."
Really?
And so, yeah. And so
really like that.
I must have joined like 15 days worth of the waiting list in like February and March.
Yeah.
And then I like shamelessly replied to like one of his Instagram stories, like, "Oh, chef, like I'm on the wait list, like hopefully like get to experience it, you know." And then like 2 hours later, I just got an email confirmation, like your
Mate, rightly so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and it was as good.
it was exceptional. It was like on every level, it was just like mind blowing. Service, food, the whole experience.
Anything stand out food wise?
He does a thing called his business card, and it's like a tuna hand roll thing.
Ugh.
But it's mad. He's like the most personal person in the industry as well.
Yeah.
He's like the hottest ticket right now.
That's insane.
Everybody wants a slice, but yeah.
Fish or ingredient that's on too many menus at the minute?
I hate terrine. With
As
like
a category?
fiery passion. Not like a fire. I don't actually mind eating it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's too many places, like fine dining places. I've got a specific restaurant in mind.
Come on,
go on.
Lyle's.
Yeah.
Love terrine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love terrine. And it's like
Stop it.
It's not like a one-star food. I get it.
Yeah,
It's cheap.
right.
It's like cheap cuts of,
Yeah.
you know, it's like a old English peasant food, which is fine. You know, I don't mind eating it, but I want to go to like a pub.
Yeah.
Eat it at a pub.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to like a one-star restaurant and eat like minced up meat,
I agree with you.
like bits of lard.
What's been the worst cooking fad?
I wouldn't say it's a cooking fad. I was thinking about this on the way here, and there's something that I hate. It's started recently, and it's the videos of when chefs like make a dish and they like film it for a reel, and then the shot of them eating it.
Oh, yeah.
And like the most ridiculous faces they make as if they're like orgasming
Yeah.
and shit
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And it's like, I'm sorry, but your avocado on toast can't
Yeah.
taste that nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then they
It's
like high five themselves.
And they're like pouting. It's
Just relax, basically. They need to
chill
just,
out.
yeah.
We don't need to see your face
No, good.
on the video.
Yeah, boiled egg.
Yeah, exactly.
So like a hack is a dirty word, right? But
Yeah.
is there any, from your experience, any cooking hacks or like little tips and tricks for like someone who's just starting out as a cook or cooking at home to make them better?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a very daunting thing, but if you like brine, like we brine like everything.
Yeah, really?
Like all the fish gets brined or salt cured or things like that. And I feel like it seems like this big mysterious thing that restaurants do, and it's actually very easy. So at like home, if you're like cooking fish or something, just like sprinkle some like rock salt on it for like 10 minutes and then wash it off. It's so much better.
And what's that going to do for those listening?
Well, it just like draws the moisture out and like really
Firms it
intensifies the flavour. Yeah, and it's like, I say this all the time to people in the like working in the restaurant, and I get like, I've had multiple people take the piss out of me for it, and I'm like, you need to salt your food when it's cooking, not just afterwards.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you get like that overly salty flavour.
Yeah.
Whereas if you salt it when it's cooking, it like draws all the flavour. Like it, you know, it. It's like so hard to explain. That
You also
like,
season less.
Yeah, exactly.
Weirdly,
because it like cooks down and then everything. So that might be
That's a great one.
another hack as well.
it's just on the fish.
Yeah.
If you're buying like not so say you're just a person, and you go to a supermarket and you buy fish,
Yeah.
does it work for that grade of fish?
I think so.
So just take it out of the packaging, season it a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, super.
Do you shop in normal supermarkets, or do you just take stuff back from the restaurant in your like like when you used to strap meat to you and bike home from what restaurant was that?
The Dot Kitchen in Ladbroke Grove, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty mad.
With cling film bits of meat and stuff to ourselves.
What, like underneath your top?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
When the people went off on their bikes and scooters at the end of the night. Like stuff that was sort of maybe at the end of like a stock take, and it was, it was kind of, could have been used for you the next day, but
on the edge.
We'd borrow it. Yeah.
Let's have a drink. We're going to go to drink.
Let's have a drink.
Ben, what have you got in store for the wonderful Joe Laker? And you've already got it out.
I don't actually drink.
Well, that is absolutely brilliant.
Is that good?
Yeah, because this is not booze. I mean, you drink liquid.
Good. I drink liquid.
Yeah.
I love liquid.
Yeah,
there's like a running joke in the restaurant that I need like various amounts of liquid to
just to exist.
Yeah. You know.
Well, what is it?
This is a nostalgia fest.
Go on.
So it's a Shirley Temple.
Oh shit.
Which, like, when I used to go on holiday when I was a kid, I used to mainline this.
Yeah.
And then I spotted it on Deli, and I was like, I've got to have some of that.
Dangerous stuff. It's like sort of
I mean,
kids'
we're about
cocaine
to find out
almost,
how,
isn't it?
sweet it is.
What's your go-to cocktail, Joe? Even though you don't drink. But you've got some incredible cocktails at the restaurant.
They make exceptional non-alcoholic cocktails. And
Do they?
do this. They do like a seasonal jam sour, but non-alcoholic. Have you ever had 3 spirits?
Yeah.
Like that non-alcoholic. They use like active ingredient, like mushrooms and all that sort of stuff. That's really great. And then Ben, who owns Seedlip, he's just done this like new brand called Season.
Right.
And it's like non-alcoholic bitters.
Oh, nice.
And they're really good in drinks as well.
Who's your favourite chef in London right now?
I'm going to say Endo. Endo.
Endo, yeah.
So I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
My girlfriend thinks he's really embarrassing, but I think he's great.
Okay.
But I'd say, in terms of like skill and just like what he's created, best in London, the UK probably, and like competing in the world for sure.
Huge.
Yeah. That is huge. Sorry,
wow, this is very
messing around.
No, it's okay. Do you want to go for dinner?
Yeah, Freddie and I come round for dinner.
Yeah.
Down
my
the
house.
business.
We're coming to your house.
Okay, nice. What are you
giving a little drink and snack just as we arrive? What are we having?
Salted cashews. I think I'm obsessed with. I feel like I eat salted cashews with almost everything. Oh Jesus, that's very impressive.
That's Shirley Temple.
And sparkling tea. Have you ever had Saicho?
No.
Whoa, no.
Good.
So Saicho and nuts.
Saicho and nuts. Yeah.
Nice. That sounds amazing.
Not a big olive man, so you're probably getting nuts.
What about
just quickly on Saicho?
Yeah.
What is it?
So it's a sparkling tea.
Sorry, quickly on Saicho. What is it?
It's a sparkling tea, and they do. Thank you very much. Mate. They do like a Hijicha one, like that roasted tea. Yeah, nice. And they have like a jasmine and Darjeeling.
Mate, congratulations, Mazel Tov, on getting married.
Thank you very
on
much.
the restaurant success and everything, and for coming in on your first day of your honeymoon.
It's a pleasure.
First day of married life.
It was better than yesterday. I had a crazy day yesterday.
Were you working on your
working
on your wedding day?
No, I got married on Tuesday.
Oh, sorry.
So so on my wedding night at 11:55, I got a text from my business partner Ryan saying, "You don't need to read this." That was the first line. I was like, "Well,
of course I'm going to read
something's happened here."
Yeah.
He said the sump tank where all our waste goes into and from the flats above our restaurant has started leaking out of the manhole cover. And then I got in on Wednesday morning after the festivities of a wedding, and the bar was just like flooded with like water that had come up from the sump tank. And I spent 5 hours yesterday with a wet vac, just like hoovering up water and like pouring it down the drain outside.
Well, hopefully this is a better day.
This is much
horrific.
Better day. Yeah. So it's only got worse. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
This is.
What about the first thing you drink in the morning?
I'm straight to coffee.
Yeah.
This whole nonsense of like you have to drink water before coffee. That's bizarre behaviour.
Coffee's got water in it, in many ways.
That's in a lot of ways.
Black coffee. Milky coffee.
I'm a flat white sort of man.
Yeah, right.
I like a bit of foamy milk.
Yeah, nice.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's good.
100% all right.
Yeah. Are you a black coffee?
I drink black coffee, man.
Black tea.
Yeah.
Are you black tea?
Black tea, yeah.
Just like
in
standard like
for life.
PG tips.
You
go fancy.
M&S.
Or like loose leaf.
I've done a lot of tea. No, not loose leaf. Every day.
Oh,
the everyday tea. It's fucking good.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there.
I suppose the next question is slightly redundant. But if you are hungover,
I'm sure he would have been hungover in his life.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you remedying that with the food and drink? What's your go-to?
So I don't drink anymore because that was a very common occurrence most days.
Yeah, right.
So you just start drinking again.
Okay, right. That is the key.
If you can. You know, you start off something light, you know, like a gin and tonic, just to settle the... And then you build up, and then you end up, slamming K-ciders on South Bank
on a park bench.
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's the only way to deal with it.
Yeah. So that's a foolproof remedy. No?
Yeah, there we go.
None of this new nutrition injection and all that
just
bullshit. Yeah,
hair of the dog.
A bit like Gabriel Waterhouse, you sort of started working in a Chinese restaurant in your second year at uni.
Yeah.
How you sort of fell into the industry, and then post uni, is it right that you sort of started making pizzas at children's birthdays parties?
Yeah. So I worked. This is actually a man.
It's quite a chaotic first couple of years.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
I worked in a Chinese restaurant, rolling like wontons and washing dishes, and then I got a job.
Where are we in the world? Like in the world? Okay, in Leeds.
So this was up in Leeds, and then through somebody who I met through the industry, he was like doing these odd jobs for this guy who owned like a pizza van. And he also had like a marquee inside like a kid's soft play area at like a farm. It was called like Piglet's Adventure bullshit or something. Fucking shit. And it's like every Friday and Saturday I'd be in that like gazebo just like making pizza for kids. You know, it's kind of mad.
How good, like, were you trying to make good pizza for
They were
kids?
good pizzas.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It wasn't...
But you know, the funny thing was, so that's actually very delicious.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Bit sweet, maybe.
A little bit sweet, but it's sort of what you're here for if you're at Shirley Temple.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. So the pizzas would be good, but the most, and I haven't really thought about it until right now, the most bizarre thing is you'd be making pizzas for like 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit what it's
like.
No. But then like the guy who ran the thing would like see pictures of it that people are posting and be like, well, that doesn't look very good. I'm like, mate, honestly, they don't give a shit.
No.
They have like one bite and that's it. They're done. So it's like he was super obsessive about how good they were.
Wrong audience, as in like he's wasting his time.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So I did that for a while, and then he would do like festivals and like food markets, and I'd do that. But yeah, that was pretty mad. I haven't thought about that.
Was he as brutal as Tommy Banks was in Roots or Black Swan when you went to work there, the Michelin Star?
No, I wouldn't say Tommy Banks was that brutal. Tommy Banks is just like a pretty chilled out farmer.
Yeah,
really.
I'd say that
odd guy. Yeah. Bit odd.
But
did he not come? Did he not come for you when you put one of his
that was hilarious
items on your menu at Anglo?
That was brilliant.
What do you mean?
So I basically moved down to London after working at Black Swan and Roots, and then went to St Leonard's for a little bit with Andrew Clark and Jackson Boxer, and then Pollen Street, and then went to Anglo. Started as a sous chef. I basically I was so young that I wanted to rush through my career, and like in hindsight, it was you shouldn't do that. You take your time. So I got the sous chef job at Anglo, and then I think Mark, who owns Anglo, was just done with it and didn't want to be there as much. So promoted me to head chef, and I was just like, well, I have no tools to create. As I said, these restaurants that you work in, no matter how good they are, they don't teach you how to like build the confidence and like build the tools you need to like create your own menus. So I was just like, I was ripping dishes like straight up. Yeah. Like maybe I'd change it slightly. So if he did something with venison, I'd do it with beef. It'd just be like, look, I've changed it. And then there was this dish, it was like textbook Tommy Banks. It was like this like sliced beef dish with a fermented chili and like cured bone marrow. And I've done like riffs on it since, but like put my own like spin on it. But that was just like textbook. The plating was the same. It looked the same. Yeah. And then he commented on it saying, that's nice. Ooh. And then his like wife liked it, which I just thought was pathetic. Yeah. And then being like a 22-year-old, like 21 or whatever I was, just like complete like fuck it. I was just like learnt from the best, and then just put like a thumbs up.
So you head chef at 21, 22?
20, yeah, but I shouldn't have been.
What about Anglo now? Have you been back there?
I haven't been back there, but it looks insane.
Fallen out with them?
Not. I mean,
do you know
Anthony? I love Anthony.
Yeah.
Like,
was he there when you were there?
So he was working, trade, hospitality that they opened in Soho. It was a private members club. Yeah. Mark had a residency there. And so when I was at Anglo, Anthony was at the Anglo residency in trade, and then he came over after I'd left. So he's great. I would love to.
I've been getting turned on by the food he's been sharing.
It's insane.
Yeah, you've been going hard for it.
I have been going hard for it. It looks good.
No, it's great. Yeah.
He does some very impressive stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, it's very impressive to be that creative and use ingredients like that, but still, you know, I haven't been, but from what I've seen in the reviews, you know, it also is delicious.
Yeah.
And so to like develop and create like that, but keep flavour.
Can we go to Roots and Black Swan?
Yes.
I mean, what did you learn from Tommy Banks? Because he was obviously a guy, I've read his story, he just sort of taught himself when he was ill in bed reading cookbooks, right? Essentially.
Is that how he taught himself?
Apparently.
I've got no idea. So that's where like the love for like, or not the love, but like the passion to explore British cooking came from. Because like the years prior, everywhere I'd worked, like the food would arrive in crates and it'd be in like boxes and wrappers and it'd be in the back door, and you know, you don't even think about where it comes from. And then you go to the Black Swan where there's like kitchen gardens and farms and almost like everything is grown there. And, you know, now they've even taken it further where they've got like livestock and they make their own charcuterie from their own pigs. It's an insane operation. And that definitely ignited like an interest in me to try and learn more about food. And, you know, we're so privileged in London. We can get anything whenever you want. Yeah. So almost putting those constraints on myself to not just get everything. You know, it's like you see restaurants, nothing against restaurants that, you know, buy in from wherever. Yeah. But it's like when you give yourself so like no boundaries for like what you're creating, you should be creating the best thing possible, you know? So that might not be the case, but for me, having those like boundaries and trying to find, you know, unusual British produce that might mimic other.
I always find it funny, you know, like, because it's a company like Natura. Yeah. And you know, everyone gets like a sort of weekly thing with all the like, coming soon, in season, at peak, going out. And you just look at menu and you can just see. Yeah. There's no effort made. You just sort of like, you just, you know, pick from that list and kind of like, oh, look, something exciting's coming. We'll just put that on every menu in London. So what you're saying is that you can't do that. Yeah. And that's a constraint, but.
Yeah, exactly. And then.
Makes you more creative.
It does. Yeah. And it's like you find out pretty insane things like by accident. Like there's a company called Hodmedods that sell like British pulses and grains. And they're growing chia seeds in Essex. And I always thought chia seeds had zero flavour. Because my girlfriend just like smashes them. My girlfriend is just mega healthy. She's from California. Yeah. You know, she goes running for fun.
Your wife?
My wife, sorry. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
My civil partner.
You got married yesterday.
I just assumed you were talking about two different people.
No.
That's very open. Yeah. Sorry.
So, you know, she goes running for fun, not just because she's like running away from the police. You know, she's one of those people.
Yeah.
And she'll always put like chia seeds and poppy seeds and whatever on her breakfast, and I'll taste it, but that tastes like nothing. Yeah. But then we got some in and I roasted them and then like blended it into like a powder, and it tastes like black sesame.
Really?
You know, and so you start learning all these things by accident, just from like wanting to experiment a little bit.
You then went to work for Jackson Boxer at St Leonard's, a restaurant Jay Arena described as a fun fair, and trying to be so cutting edge that you could cut your hands off. What was that experience like? And I can imagine, were you still drinking?
Yeah.
Good parties with Jackson?
I think he was sober.
Oh, that's a shame.
Was he?
Or
he's sober curious.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. It was like the first restaurant I worked at in London. It was owned by Vice.
It was owned by Vice?
Yeah.
What, the media group?
Yeah.
Oh,
so it was like terribly run.
Yeah.
They own like the old Blue Last as well.
Yeah, they do,
in Shoreditch and Seabright Arms as well.
Really?
So I think they had this. I mean, it's shut now. I think it's longer.
Yeah.
But
quite a nauseating combination. Yeah. Vice, Jackson Boxer, and Andrew Clark. Am I allowed to say that? Yes. Yeah. As in, it's all a bit sort of high key, like very cool.
Yeah. It's very
was the
style over substance. I feel.
Yeah.
And was that the experience cooking there?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't there for very long.
No.
Was it hectic?
Yeah, it was a bit hectic. It was like pretty poorly run. Yeah. Like nobody that owned it or ran it was really there. So it was just like.
What about Pollen Street Social, Jason?
That was fucked.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Go on.
He was just awful.
Really?
Just not nice to you
not nice,
or other people?
Not nice to anyone.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's closing now.
Was he working there or not?
He was there every fucking day. Man.
Just being not nice?
Yeah, just being
so go and talk us through it. I mean,
it was just like super like verbally abusive.
Really?
Like, just everybody that worked there, it's like to survive there, you have to become
that.
Yeah,
right.
It's just like, you just lose everything about yourself.
Good food or not?
I mean, yeah, I ate there once before I started working there. I thought it was really nice, but it's like, at what cost, you know?
What was the best dish you made there?
I got no idea. I don't remember it at all. I fucking hated it.
Yeah,
I just remember this stupid. Like, I don't know why people do it. It's like this 56-degree egg.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the egg doesn't cook.
No.
So it's like the yolk is like runny, and then all the white around it just like falls
splodges
off.
everywhere. Yeah.
And then I remember you like cooked it in a water bath, and if like a small amount of it broke off, they'd like make you replate it. But then they cover it in shit. So like the whole thing was then covered in like chicken fat crumb or something bullshit like that. And it's like, what's the point? That's just like being difficult for the sake.
Well, we had someone else on the pod saying about a salad that Marcus Waring got them to plate.
Yeah.
And it was almost designed that it would fall over.
Yeah.
You were stacking fucking chicory leaves.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why? Why are we doing that? Like that sort of old weird chef vibe.
Was this Ben Tish?
Yeah.
Did he go in on Marcus Waring?
He did a bit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Enjoy that.
quite incredible.
Yeah.
COVID hit, and then post that you become head chef at Fen. I need to congratulate you because you're probably the only person in the world who could get people to go down Wandsworth Bridge Road.
Yeah.
Quite amazing to be able to get people to go commute there. I mean, there's nothing there, and then you created this amazing restaurant.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? And was there a bit of a fallout at the end because creatively you were stifled, a bit like Alex Jackson?
So I'll take you through the whole story.
Yeah, nice.
The whole truth, nothing but the truth. To start off with, I'll say that the three boys that own Fen, Ness and St Bart's, I have a huge amount of like appreciation for them, what they did, because all the press releases they put my name, and you know it definitely helped my career. So I definitely feel very thankful for that. It was great at the start, and for the first like year and a half, it was perfect for me. I was developing dishes, but under like the supervision of Johnny. So I'd develop dishes, and then he'd help sort of refine them and things like that. And then we went along like that for a very long time, and it was very good. We had a very good working relationship. I had a great team, etc., etc. And then I don't want to. I'm not better than Johnny in any way. I'm not saying, you know. But it got to a point where I was kind of developing things and like showing him, and then I was building enough confidence in myself where if he'd be like, "You need to change that. That's not right," I'd be like,
"Don't know if I do.
I don't think that's right."
Yeah.
You know, and so that I never said anything, you know, because again, it was you're taught just shut your mouth and say yes. And
but internally, you're starting to feel
internally, I was starting to feel a bit like maybe outgrowing it slightly, and then that's when the opportunity to open this place with Ryan came up, and as soon as that started becoming like a possibility, that was it then. I was coming in every day and being like, the paint's peeling. Everything just started getting a bit darker and a bit cloudy, and I was like, this is, not for me.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Where does that so you've worked in cool places, but it sounds like actually you weren't learning, you were cooking food there.
Yeah.
And probably learning something, but like where does this the developing bit come from? Like the dishes that you're cooking now, like what's driving that?
I mean, it's really hard to say. I think it's definitely like produce. I usually start with something,
right,
and then it'll start. I want to use duck. I want to use like this fucking parsnip or something. I don't know what it might be. And then you sort of start to build something around it. I've started doing this thing in the last few months where I just like write a big list. So I'll like write duck, and then I'll write like 30 ingredients that I know work with duck.
Yeah, just like tasty things.
Start crossing off.
Right.
And then you start to like build a bit of a picture, and then it's just a lot of like testing. I think what people don't realise is like 9 out of 10 things I try it tastes
just not really right.
Yeah.
What's the restaurant you've learnt most in?
I think
Copenhagen, was that a step up?
So yeah, I mean I was staging there for like a couple of months, so that I think I was because I was a bit older and at like a point in my career where I was taking things like a lot, like very, very seriously. I learned a lot there in like 2 months that just like so quickly, because you get exposed to so much, and if you're in a position where you're willing to like absorb all of that, so I learned a lot there. I learned a lot about food and produce at Roots and the Black Swan, and then Fen. I learnt a lot just because it was the first time where I was like properly developing.
What about working with Phil Howard?
That was legendary.
Yeah.
You know,
imagine a night out with you, Jackson, and Phil Howard if you're all still on the sauce.
That'd be disgraceful.
Yeah.
Phil Howard at the Square was lovely. So that was just in between jobs. That was, you know, that was a really nice opportunity to have. I was there for I think 3 months just while the restaurant was being built, or just before it was being built. He's a legend.
Yeah.
On like every level. You know, it's like an undeniable legend. Just like, you know, he's got time for everyone, wants to teach everyone still. He's like 60 years old.
Yeah.
And when I was there, he was almost there every single day.
Wow.
You know, he runs marathons and does all that cycling thing. It's pretty insane. But yeah, I mean, it's Elystan Street's a nice restaurant. You know.
Do you love the pain of being a chef? Do you love getting beaten up, screamed at, bullied? But you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain...
this is getting...
Yeah, it's like therapy.
Yeah.
No, because I'm about to ask you about your sort of, you know, biggest nightmare day in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But like, I'm guessing there were some good times because you're relatively new to the industry in terms of like Ben Tish, whatever.
Yeah.
But is there still drugs, debauchery, partying, all-nighters? Like,
I mean, you know, that's definitely like still around. I feel like I don't drink, and then Ryan, my business partner, he doesn't drink. So I feel like Can 71 and Low Country is like a very teetotal restaurant, you know, like on a Saturday night.
I mean, in the wider sphere.
I think so. I think so. You know, I'm not like I'm sort of like rooted in the industry of London, you know, and I've been like very lucky to meet like some great people and eat, but I'm not like in that scene anymore. You know, it's like if you go to like a bar with Shapes for a Name on Kingston Road at 3 o'clock in the morning, you will see it. Yeah. Everybody in there is from the hospitality industry. Yeah. And it's like a battle.
Was it fun when you first moved to London that day?
Yeah, of course.
Like, what was the night out? Like, the best night out you've had?
Well, I don't really remember them.
Yeah, true.
You know, best night in.
Yeah, best night in. Yeah, but that's what they've all said, haven't they? The chefs we've asked. Sort of ends up back at someone's house.
Yeah. So like 6 o'clock in the morning.
And then straight into Mise en Place?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But that seems like I've been sober for like 2.5 years.
So it's like a different world, basically.
I remember you saying that actually when you're like, if you've had no sleep, you're fucked from whatever the night before. Getting into a kitchen, you were talking about it earlier, but you just, you know, when you said about the open kitchen, you just kind of forget everything. You used to say cooking was quite therapeutic in a restaurant.
I found it. Yeah, I liked it hungover. Yeah. Just getting in a prep list and just kind of methodically working through.
Yeah. I think it's about like you have to hide it.
You have to hide.
If somebody like catches on that you're suffering in the slightest,
they'll come for you.
They'll make it the worst day of your life.
We're talking about worst days of your life. What has been the worst day of your life? Professionally, I think.
Such a dark question.
Yeah. I'd say yesterday was awful.
Yeah.
You know, but in the kitchen, I remember those days at Roots, and this is something you learn as you like get old, like as you go through the industry. It's just like lying is just like, you know, you'll get fucked. It's not worth it.
No.
You know? So there was like one day. And I feel like you explain these stories to people who haven't been in the industry before, and they're like, "That sounds so pathetic." And it's like, well, you know, most of the like times you get bollocked are pathetic.
It's pathetic, yeah.
It'll be like over not placing something right. But I remember there was one service where I told, it was at Roots, the chef on the pass. I was like, "We've only got this much Slayer puree. So just be aware, don't like smash all of it, you know, which is kind of like a risky thing to do when you're like a junior chef anyway, to be like, well, don't use all of it. You know, it's not really my place. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, okay, fine. He was like, have you checked the freezer? Have you checked everywhere? There's nothing. I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, that's all of it. And then it's like last check comes on. He's obviously smashed all of it, which is fine. You know, he's allowed. It's not really my job to like tell him how much to use. And he's like, have you got any more? I was like, no, I have. Like, that's all I had. And he was like, is there any in the freezer? I was like, no. He was like, did you check earlier? I was like, yeah, I've checked. I didn't check. And then the next thing I know, it's like this bag of Slayer puree just comes like flying across my face.
Oh my god!
And just like drops into like the water bath next to me to like defrost, which is pretty ropey, but you know.
Jesus.
So that was, you know, I apologised to him afterwards. I like went upstairs. I was like, I'm really sorry for lying.
Yeah, don't lie.
It's not like being back at school. Let's have some food and let's go to your go-to food section. Ben, what have you created for the wonderful Joe Laker?
So what have I created? I made. Just because I saw what you were saying about tater tots, I saw that and I thought, they're silly, aren't they? So I've made some tater tots.
Nice.
And then I made a tarama salata.
Oh, shit.
And then there's this magical thing I got off Deli, which I was telling you about the other day, called salsa matcha, which is just very tasty.
Yeah.
So I've done that in tarama with tater tots.
Sounds amazing.
I'm going to get them out in a minute. And then I made sort of like hoisin duck wrap, but with chicken livers.
Wow.
I just thought, and a paratha. I thought it was very tasty.
That's crazy.
You do this for every podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
You mate, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So is that inspired by sort of Dot Kitchen days?
I don't know what that was inspired by. I was in the butcher's and he had chicken livers. They look really nice. Yeah. And I really like chicken livers.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, I'll get
Sounds
those.
Great.
Yeah. And then I backdated it and worked out what to...
What's your go-to delivery order, Joe?
I'll get Detroit pizza.
Yeah. What's on there?
Exceptional. It's like pepperoni. They do like the really thick.
Yeah.
Proper ones.
Dish you cook the most midweek?
As I said, my fiance, wife, civil partner,
whatever she is.
She likes eating super healthy, so on like the weekends when we're off together, it's always like tofu rice bowls or like roast.
Does she work in the industry as well?
No, she works in the charity sector, so she actually has a job that makes.
So you've got to make sort of rice bowls and stuff.
Rice bowls with tofu. I actually don't mind tofu. I used to hate tofu.
Yeah, so do I.
I used to think it was awful.
Yeah, it's got better.
Nice tofu.
So you don't do much cooking outside the restaurant?
On like a Sunday, we'll cook together.
Yeah,
like a Monday night. But
really put that on the table down there.
Here we go. What's your favourite meal deal combination?
I don't know if they still do it. I don't actually get meal deals that much.
No,
Tesco used to do this like chicken and sweet corn, like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
That was fucking banging.
And what would you pair that with?
Maybe like a Diet Coke and a cool original Doritos.
Oh yeah, nice. That's a chef.
That's a great order.
What's yours?
It depends what mood I'm in, but I'm actually quite boring. I normally go cheese and ham.
Yeah.
Prawn cocktail, crab bag, smoked ham, and Coke Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite boring, but it's kind of you know where you're at.
Yeah.
I'm normally on like route to either business meeting or like a show or something when I'm taking him, and I don't want any risky flare-ups.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like ham and cheese, prawn cocktail, Coke Zero. I know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Talking about flare-ups, what's your go-to spice or ingredient?
Smoked paprika. I feel like we had this conversation in the restaurant the other day. Like, if you're on a desert island, what would you take? I feel like I put it in everything.
Really?
Even if it doesn't call for it, you know.
Smoked paprika. So it's on a lot of your dishes right now.
It's on no dishes at the restaurant. I mean, like at home.
Oh, at home. Okay, sorry. You ban yourself from taking it into the restaurant.
It's not British.
Could be though, couldn't it?
Could be, maybe.
Yeah. Could you not find a? I mean, how do you make paprika? I don't fucking know. Oh, those are great.
Do you make these here?
I made them
on
at
the
home.
floor.
Yeah.
My special suitcase.
That looks very good.
I thought I'd just spunk a bit of this on.
That
A
looks
bit
great.
of Deli.
So you can get all this stuff on Deli essentially.
Yeah, excellent.
And use the code go to Deli to get 25% off. What about your go-to random fridge snack combination? You open the fridge and put weird things together. Thank you, man.
That's a difficult one.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Maybe I'll use the fault. Why is that difficult? You open the fridge and the weird things in there.
Yeah.
You're a chef of a place which is hopefully going to be a Michelin Star establishment very soon.
Maybe like sriracha with like potato chips.
Delicious.
That's not super weird, no?
Not weird at all.
Sriracha with potato chips.
These would have gone a bit soggy, just to warn everyone involved.
That's nice, eh?
Tiny bit soggy, but good.
Flavor's lovely.
Shitloads of black pepper.
Yeah, delicious.
And what about your guilty pleasure? Sorry, I'm busy.
Like food-wise or...
Both.
Or porn-wise, I know.
Food-wise...
Oh, these are delicious. Is there duck in there as well? Or is this the hoisin?
It's just all liver.
Here we go.
Thank you very much.
Where do you stand on liver?
I fucking hate chicken liver, so
do you?
I'm really excited about
No, Joe, don't do that. Do you hate liver?
Yeah.
Oh, don't get in there then.
Can I have a little bite?
It's not good for you, is it?
I'll have one bite. Looks delicious.
They are really good.
I can't believe I've done you like that.
Kind of tastes like just Chinese pancakes.
In a good way?
Yeah. Just a bit
That
more
is quite nice,
I
actually.
was going to do lamb belly, and I went for liver. I should have done lamb belly, shouldn't I?
It's delicious, though.
That's
Very
sweet
good.
of you to say.
It's very nice. Guilty pleasure. Food-wise... I'll have a Subway. I actually rate Subway very highly.
That's a huge shout. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your order?
Turkey ham, sweet onion, dip. Very nice.
On what bread?
The honey oat sensation or whatever it is.
When are you getting a Subway? Like what's happening in your life?
When?
Yeah, like I was
I've
in.
had them like after service before. You just order like delivery to the restaurant. At, like,
Really?
Midnight. Yeah.
That's so nice.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I love that.
That's actually very nice. The livers.
No,
Well, you're sweet to say, yeah.
You don't like livers though?
I hate chicken liver parfait. I think chicken liver parfait is disgusting.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's why I didn't do that. I knew that. I'll tell you what you won't like: the parfait.
Let's go into your go-to locations. What about your go-to weeknight restaurant if you could ever get out of your own kitchen?
Like casual, casual. Kiln in Soho.
Nice.
Big fan.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah, I've been like 4 or 5 times. I think that's.
It's good for going on your own. I don't know if you're going on your own, but I find it good for going on your own.
I feel like you can go and spend like £50 per person and eat almost the entire menu.
Yeah.
And the price, I went for the first time maybe like 5 years ago or something. Prices haven't really changed.
Yeah, how have they done that?
I have no idea.
Everything else has gone
Yeah,
up.
that's what I mean. So I have no idea how they do it. They've kept it very reasonable.
Clever.
I mean, they turn tables like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, but it's still, you know,
Clean,
I've never had a bad meal there.
Celebratory supper, like a special night. What
I'm going to say Endo at the Rotunda.
Yeah.
Have it, yeah.
I mean,
fair play.
if you can get a reservation.
If you can get a reservation.
Yeah.
You just got to beg him for one.
Yeah.
Your go-to pub?
I like the Prince in Stoke Newington. They do exceptional roasts. I'm a big fan of that. They also have like 3 non-alcoholic beers on draft, which is
That's a good move.
What's the best one? You were hyping up the was it the Aldi?
At home, I like an Aldi non-alcoholic beer. Yeah.
Apparently it's the best one. Yeah.
Oh really?
But I don't know on draft. I mean, you can't obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find Lucky
Saint
Saint on draft,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Out
But
of a bottle, it's just a bit too thin.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like they
You know
get
what I mean?
Such a technical thing to say.
No, but it is.
not
You know when
really
you taste
viscous.
if you drink a non-alcoholic beer, they are a tiny bit thinner.
Is that right?
I feel like that.
I love that.
Well, they
Yeah.
take all the.
But on
alcohol
draft,
out, don't
they're actually pretty good. The Lucky
Yeah.
Saints.
Have you got a little hidden gem or a secret place that you? Well, it's not going to be secret if you say it now, but hidden gem. Restaurant wise.
There's a Japanese cafe on Kingsland Road called Moko Made or Moko Made. I don't know how to pronounce it. Their coffee's exceptional. They do like loads of baked goods, and they have onigiri, like rice balls, and it's like truly exceptional.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, it's very very nice.
Yeah.
And what about your dream long weekend getaway? I mean, you haven't had a chance to go for your honeymoon yet.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
I had a very nice midweek getaway on my own a few weeks ago. I went to Stockholm, went to Franson, and Adam and Albin.
Nice.
I was in Stockholm for like 48 hours, and I did nothing apart from sleep and go and eat at two really nice restaurants.
What was the best dish ever?
The thing is with France, it was obviously exceptional, you know. But this is like everything. Anyone that I speak to about it, it's the food can only be so good.
Yeah.
And they've like created this experience around the food that's just like mind blowing. Like every detail is being considered. So the food is obviously really really good, but I feel like you go for the experience. You know, you go for like the whole package. But there was and also the food's a bit all over the place.
As in inconsistent or
As in like
a bit mad? Like what?
kind of what I was saying about there's like no boundaries. So it's like some dish will be like a Japanese inspired sauce, and the next you'll have like a sauce inspired by like a laksa.
Yeah.
And like so it doesn't really make sense. But there was this like kinmadai, like steamed kinmadai dish with like a Sri Lankan curry sauce thing that was very good.
Kind of sounds like the Dot Kitchen.
Yeah. Fast and loose.
Yeah.
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 But I remember Alex Jackson saying you could never get away with that kind of restaurant now, where
No.
it was kind of because you were cooking all cuisines under one roof, weren't you?
Yeah.
What was that?
So the place I worked for a long time was called the Dot Kitchen, which is in Ladbroke
Yeah.
Grove. It's closed now. But we cooked like grandmother's food or like
Yeah.
poor people's food from around the world.
Right.
I mean, we were like 8 white people.
You'd get cancelled for that.
Yeah.
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 And we were just doing Sri Lankan menus
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sort of going deep, like grinding all our own coconuts, buying in the machinery and the spice grinders.
Yeah.
It was cool, amazing place to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't think we could do that now.
No.
No.
And I understand why, you know. So I'm not
100%
saying you
not
have to,
our
like,
place to be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to like limit yourself to
Yeah.
like, you know, you can be inspired by things, but
sure.
I feel like when you see these, like at France, and they were like, oh, Japanese is in our DNA, and then you like look around, this bunch of
like
white
where?
people.
Yeah.
It's like where, you know, and it's like you didn't go through the struggles that like Japanese children did at like school when they were like taking Japanese food to like a Western school like lunch, and they got like ridiculed. For it.
Yeah.
It's
We're
now
all
like
getting
celebrated.
like cheese strings out and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's now like celebrated, like Japanese cuisine.
Yeah.
It's celebrated here because like now the white people have said it's like
We said it's all right.
you know, it's crazy.
No,
So
100%.
I understand.
Well, talking about that, I mean, it's probably a good time for Deli Steady Cook because We're going to ask a young, good-looking white man to make some Asian food for us, I think, from what's in your deli bag. What would you make from that bag?
Just make a bibimbap with everything in it.
Yeah, I've sort of made it easy for you.
Yeah,
right?
you made it very easy.
But if you just read it out.
So what's in this?
Actually, didn't have a proper look at that. I don't think there's any rice in there.
Oh, so you need to add beef, chicken, pork, or tofu,
Or
tin tuna or sushi grade fish. You need to add an egg, and you need to add carrot, spinach, cucumber, courgette, seaweed, mushroom, or a fresh green salad.
So what have I given? Apart from that,
you
Just
get
about rice.
maybe it is the rice
You get the rice, and maybe
and
the
a bit of seasoning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
Nice.
good start.
Thank God I sorted you out with the sausage.
Yeah.
and the
Thank
So
God
you're
for
going to
that.
make a
Bibimbap
bibimbap with...
some.
It's got bloody duck liver in it. You hate liver.
Do you hate all types of liver?
I'm just not a fan. I feel like chicken liver parfait is the most disgusting thing that anybody's ever decided to create.
Right.
I think it tastes like iron and
Very
like
irony, yeah.
arse.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I just
Yeah, it
don't.
tastes like iron.
Maybe I'll rewind and say that's the worst fad
Yeah.
that's possible. Maybe I'd make like a little rice salad, make that turn that vinegar into a nice like vinaigrette
It's double delicious. That
with some like fried crispy sausage on top and some kimchi on the side.
Sounds amazing.
unbelievable.
That's your Deli Steady Cook, and you guys can get involved in Deli. Just use the code GoToDeli, get 25% off all their incredible food and drink, which we've been enjoying all day and all series so far. Joe, you've been absolutely wonderful. We're going to come check you out at Counter 71. Hopefully we can get a reservation, and we may have to slide into your DMs
be in
and
the
ask
DMs.
us to,
Yeah.
to somehow slip us on there. We're going to finish off by asking you, what is your go-to three-course meal? If you could eat any three courses for one last time.
I would say so. I'm going to start with dessert because I feel like it's the easiest. Sticky toffee pudding. Oh yeah, is a classic.
Sticky toy pudding, yeah.
Yeah. Main course.
Just quickly with ice cream, custard. What would we
custard.
get? Yeah, right.
With warm custard.
Yeah, nice.
Not a heat.
You're not a savage.
Yeah. It's kind of gross.
Sorry, it's my bad.
I would say sausage and mash for a start. I
Nice.
feel like mashed potatoes are a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I have to say that. And starter.
No onions?
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. Well, you didn't say it.
Sort of show you running.
I know. We're really showing ourselves up at the end.
Well, I just thought you'd say, maybe you don't like onions like you don't like liver. So I can...
Love onions.
Yeah.
Okay, so sausage and mashed onions to
Sausage
start.
and mashed onions to start.
Sticky toffee for pudding with custard.
Yeah. Starter. It's difficult.
Oh, that was your main. So I thought you said to start the sausage.
No.
No one has sausage and mash.
I thought he may be doing two mains. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
treating himself. He's about to die.
Yeah,
Maybe.
true.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I would say, this might be controversial, but when you go to a pub and they have just like horrible chicken wings and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually quite enjoy them.
Yeah.
They're like kind of soggy, but also really dry.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I don't, and it's tossed in a sauce.
Yeah.
That tastes
Nondescript.
like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
Yeah, they're really good. I agree with you.
Okay. So
I feel like we didn't grow up eating starters, my family.
No.
So we'd go like straight to main course, and now looking back on it, I'm like, they're just cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have some dry and soggy chicken wings to start off, why not?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, you've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in. Everyone get down to County 71 if you can get a booking, and you'll be in for a real treat. Just don't complain about the scallops.
Yeah.
Please leave us a comment, a rating. It helps a lot of people find us. Thank you to Deli for sponsoring the podcast. And those are your go-tos, Joe. We'll see you all next week. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
And congratulations on being married.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was great.
That was unbelievable.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Brilliant.